David Vassegh is the Dodgers reporter for AM 570 in Los Angeles, and he joins us now. David, good morning. Don Mattingly is gone because why?
Well, I don't think Andrew Friedman was blowing smoke yesterday, Dan. I think it was really a mutual agreement to part ways and to start fresh, as they said yesterday. I think from the Dodgers standpoint, with this new front office, it gives them the opportunity to hire their own manager. And from Don's standpoint, I think he's been on the job for 5 years. I think maybe the pressures of the job and the dynamics of how it's changed since when he took over for Joe Torre back in 2011 have changed, and maybe the terms of the deal that they were trying to talk about as far as an extension just wasn't worth it to him. And maybe he feels, since he did say he wants to continue to manage and manage in the near future, he feels like there's an opportunity around the corner that would provide him with better terms and better security.
The plan for the next manager is what?
Well, I think the plan for the next manager is to be able to mesh with this front office that is analytical heavy with Andrew Friedman and Farhan Zaidi. A guy that already is in-house that was hired by Andrew Friedman is Gabe Kapler. He runs the minor league development and really is in charge of that, and he's a big believer in analytics. And Andrew Friedman knows him from Tampa Bay. Gabe's had experience managing in the minor leagues. He managed 1 year in single A, so I think it's got to be a guy that is willing to mesh and to really take the information that Andrew Friedman and Farhan Zaidi are going to provide him and have that open line of communication from everything from defensive shifts to even the starting lineup each and every day.
We know it's not a $300 million roster. We know that that's how much money they've invested, but you got a lot of dead money there, dead contracts there. How much more money can they spend?
I don't think there's a limit, Dan. And really, you look at that $300 million number, that's all coming off the books after the World Series. They don't have to pay Matt Kemp anymore. They don't have to pay Dee Gordon and Dan Herron and Brian Wilson anymore. So they're looking at a payroll right now as it stands without Zach Greinke. Let's say, like we all expect him to opt out, the payroll before arbitration guys like Kenley Jansen and Justin Turner, it's around $150 million. So I think that number was overstated with a lot of dead money that's coming off the books. And the Dodgers, they mentioned it yesterday, they want to get younger. And they could do that at shortstop with Corey Seager, second base, Howie Kendrick's a free agent, so they could get younger at that position. And also, in the outfield, they have some decisions to make. Andre Ethier is approaching the 10-5 rights on next April. He's a guy that's 32, 33 years old. Carl Crawford, as you know, both those guys are owed quite a bit of money, and I'm sure the Dodgers are going to try to find a way to give themselves more roster flexibility. And also, in the starting rotation too, Dan, they want to try to find a way to get younger. If you look at who they have under contract, notwithstanding Greinke, Clayton Kershaw and Alex Wood are the only two guys that are healthy going into next season.
Yeah, it's very misleading when you look at that roster. I didn't think it was a great lineup. I actually thought Mattingly did well with that lineup, but not well enough. The bar was set too high, and I also think that next guy coming in is going to. I don't know if he's going to face the same expectations, because I think people are going to now look at that roster and say it's a flawed roster that looks like it should be better than what it is.
Well, just from the fan base here, Dan, they're foaming at the mouth for a World Series. I think the reason why everybody was so disappointed this year was because this team was knocking on the door the previous two seasons, and that's why everybody was hoping for the Dodgers to find a way to get that extra starting pitcher, to find a way to get something more at the trade deadline to help this team get over the hump, because the window of opportunity to have Kershaw and Greinke in the same rotation is obviously closed at this point in time.
David, good to catch up with you. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Dan.
That's David Vassegh. He covers the Dodgers for our affiliate in Los Angeles.